Hello everyone and welcome to today's On Demand. I'm joined with Jamie from Essential Site Skills, and today we're going to be speaking about carbon awareness training. SMEs have been increasingly asked by their supply chain to demonstrate the impact that they are doing as a business to ensure that they are increasing their sustainability and environmental awareness. So Jamie is going to talk a little bit more today about the training that is available and how you can get the training and what you need to do as an SME to get involved. So over to you, Jamie.
Brilliant, thank you, Jenny. So the qualification that we're currently delivering, fully funded for SME organisations in the Hertfordshire LEP area, is the Level 2 award in understanding carbon awareness and energy management, which is a fully accredited qualification, the aim of which to raise awareness and change behaviour to improve energy efficiency, help lower carbon emissions and also reduce costs. Candidates that undertake this training, they should gain the knowledge required to understand their accountability in changing energy consumption behaviour. The training is delivered on OneFile, which is an online learning tool and an e-portfolio. Each learner will also be allocated a dedicated tutor that will help them and support them throughout the qualification. In terms of duration of the course, because it's a question we often get asked, there is a guided learning hours of 10 hours where you will be instructed, guided and supported by a qualified tutor, with a total qualification time of 15 hours that could be completed in your own time. It can be done within a week, within a month, with all the remote support and access to the learning materials that you require 24/7. Support offered from our shared service centre from a compliance and administrative point of view, through to our team of tutors and qualified assessors that can support you throughout the learning process.
Super. So what should a business do then if they want to find out more about this particular training?
So the best thing to do if you're interested is to, I would recommend contacting the Growth Hub, who can then refer to ourselves and our partner Serco. We are one of the key partners within Serco's supply chain for delivering funded training for the skill support for the workforce programme, which is ESF funded. So if you make an inquiry with the Growth Hub, they can point you in our direction as a training provider, potentially through Serco. We would then look to engage with the employer. We would do a full training needs analysis. We have a really holistic approach. So when we engage with companies, it may well be to address upskilling within environmental, raising carbon awareness, or it may be looking at wider skills gaps and how as a business and as a training provider we can support and upskill your entire workforce. So we'd look to undertake and complete the training needs analysis. Then we would look to support learners through enrolment. We would then deliver the training, the qualification, and then look at potential progression opportunities and further upskilling after that.
Great. And what type of things will the course, so what topics will the course cover? So you've mentioned that there's 4 different training courses, but what would a learner expect that their course will kind of give them as an output? So
what we've done, we've underlined this Level 2 award in understanding carbon awareness and energy management. And what we've also done is bundled this together to form packages that are relevant to specific industries and tailored to sectors. So we look to combine that Level 2 award in carbon awareness with, for example, within the logistics space, we've combined it with a unit for sorting goods and materials for recycling or disposal and logistics operations. For healthcare, we've combined it with principles of decontamination, cleaning and waste management in healthcare settings. So we would look to offer a bespoke package that includes the Level 2 award in carbon awareness. We can also then bespoke the package to a particular job role. So for example, business administration, customer service. We can include a Level 2 NVQ, so a fully recognised vocational qualification in, for example, business administration. So not only to increase their awareness of carbon emissions and energy management, but also upskill them to at least level 2 within their particular job function, which is really the purpose of the skill support for the workforce program. In terms of the carbon awareness qualification itself, it is very much focused on the workplace, accountability for energy management within the workplace. It will look at things like the basic drivers and motives for organisations to reduce carbon emissions, the relationship between the work environment and energy consumption, and various such learning outcomes. Hopefully that answers that question for you, Jenny.
Yeah, definitely. And as mentioned at the very beginning, I was saying around suppliers increasingly asking their clients to demonstrate what they're doing as an organisation for their sustainability strategy. So would this type of course enable them to help sort of demonstrate that? Is it something that would be industry-wide that would be recognised?
Yeah, so the level 2 award is fully accredited by ProQual, which is a leading, well-recognised awarding body, and everything will be internally and externally assessed in order to obtain the accredited qualification. Ultimately, that's what the individual will gain in terms of an achievement. But for me, the benefit to the business is super important, which is that those employees will have, on the back of the training, an improved awareness of carbon and energy management. They'll be introduced to the key principles to reduce carbon emissions, and it will overall upskill and educate their workforce and encourage accountability within the organisation for energy management, sustainability, which is such a huge piece, and every company has some sort of agenda aligned to carbon awareness now, and we find that lots of companies have a real desire to promote positive change in that space, but don't necessarily have the knowledge and the education and the awareness to know how to facilitate that change, and that really is the purpose of this training.
Is there any minimum entry requirements for a level 2?
No, there's no formal prerequisites for this particular qualification. We would look to, as part of the enrolment, assess each learner, each individual, to ensure their suitability, potentially looking at their prior experience, their job role, but no formal qualifications are required, no prerequisites.
And is there an exam with it, or is it online? I know you mentioned it was online, but is there exams or coursework, or how is it?
So you through OneFile, through the online platform, there's the theory content, almost a workbook format, where you would access the theory, the content. There would then be knowledge questions. You would answer the knowledge questions, submit them through the online learning tool. Your assessor would then mark them, return them with any feedback, any changes that need to be made. So more of a Q&A format, with knowledge questions, as opposed to a written exam. That the questions and the assessment is ongoing throughout the qualification, with full support from a dedicated tutor.
Great. And then probably my last question, but sustainability is a topic that is constantly changing, with the benchmarks perhaps changing, or new information coming through. Would there be a top up after that they could do, or once they've got this qualification, is that then valid for the duration of their working career?
I think in terms of what next, because like you say, the industries are changing, a company's agenda strategy for energy management will continuously change, and I think the key thing is to look at progression and higher level qualifications. So what we've looked at is, okay, but if they achieve the level 2, let's then discuss the level 3. So you've got various level 3 awards in energy management that are slightly higher level and more specific. So it may be specific to waste management or transport, procurement, regulatory and legal compliance, and then look to drill down into those individual sectors and specialisms and increase that niche knowledge dependent on what they do and what they're trying to address within their particular organisation. So what we can then look to do is support a learner through higher level training, support them potentially with some funding available as we go beyond level 2, in terms of how we can support that then progression and to further enhance their knowledge.
Super. So this is a good entry point for businesses that are looking to have some training within their team for sustainability. And then, as you mentioned, if there's any further learnings, they can discuss that when it's suitable.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I'm sure most of you members will be aware that the majority of major economies now, including the UK, have a target of this net zero emissions by 2050. And I think as of March this year, around 30 of the UK's FTSE 100 companies have signed up to the UN's Race to Zero campaign, and other SMEs, your members included, I'm sure, are looking to follow suit. I mean, we do a lot of work within the construction sector. There's increased demand for things like retrofit now to make the built environment more energy efficient and sustainable. But you know, it's not easy, and I understand that all of your members will have their own agendas, their own individual challenges. I mean, but based on our conversations with companies in the manufacturing sectors, logistics, a big challenge is not just their direct emissions, but their indirect emissions, what we know as scope 3 emissions. So not just your direct carbon footprint, but the carbon footprint of your materials, of your transportation, of your entire supply chain. So whether or not you're a big company, a big blue chip company that needs to assess their supply chain, more likely you're probably going to be part of that supply chain, and a big contract that business growth depends on may in the end come down to how sustainable your business is. And I think the underlying trend, put simply, is that most companies want to promote this type of change and want to be more energy efficient and want to reduce carbon emissions, but just don't know how. So to all your members, you know, hopefully we can help you do that, and in the process help you grow your business in a more sustainable way.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny.
No, you're welcome. Thank you for going through in detail. And as Jamie mentioned, if anybody has any questions about the training that's been mentioned in today's session, then we do encourage them to get in contact with the Growth Hub, and we can work with our partners Serco as well on this training and the funding that is available as well. So thank you for joining me, Jamie. That's everything.
Thank you, Jenny.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining today's session. I'm now going to take a few moments to talk about the Hertfordshire Growth Hub and the services that we offer. So we are led and delivered on behalf of the Hertfordshire Local Enterprise Partnership and delivered by a consortium of partners, including Exemplus, the University of Hertfordshire and the Hertfordshire Chamber of Commerce. So the support is free to access and is available to all businesses, including social enterprises and charities that have a trading arm. Essentially, the Growth Hub is there to support providing advice and signposting, but essentially helping businesses unlocking support potential. Some of those areas can be fully funded staff training, which we have touched upon today. We can also provide advice on funding options, regulations and compliance, and also workplace wellbeing, and lots more, as you can see on this slide. Here are just some of the partners that we work with, both public and private sector providers across the county. So I just want to read some information out about the courses that were mentioned in today's On Demand. So the course is available through Skills Support for the Workforce, a programme delivered to upskill employees with small and medium-sized enterprises in Hertfordshire. This is co-financed by the Education and Skills Funding Agency and the European Social Fund. This programme is delivered on behalf of Serco. This is a slide which has been added in by Serco. This is not a Hertfordshire Growth Hub slide. So tailored support. So we going to focus on some of the 3 areas and programs which we are currently providing businesses with support via. So we have Get Growing 2, which is essentially one-to-one business advice, and also providing access to match funded grant, which is the Get Growing 2 grant. There's also peer networks. So peer networks is peer support in cohorts with like-minded business owners. And lastly, we have the volunteer business support scheme, which is one-to-one mentoring, essentially that critical friend. On the website, you can gain access to an array of resources. On the Knowledge Bank, which is where you would have accessed today's video, there's over 40 different on-demand videos ready for you to watch on all different topics to help you and your business through this challenging time. We also have articles, blogs, and templates, which are all available and ready for you to use. There's also a county-wide events calendar. So this doesn't just have Hertfordshire Growth Hub events. This includes other providers across the county, so you can have a snapshot of all the business events that are currently going on. We also have our marketplace. So this has profiles of both suppliers, partners, but also funded program listing. So please take some time to explore the marketplace to look for local providers. If you are a business in Hertfordshire and you are providing services to other businesses in Hertfordshire, you may also be able to create a marketplace listing. You can find out more information by creating a supplier profile on the website. I'd like to thank you for joining us today. We look forward to welcoming you to events in the not so distant future. Thank you.